Okay, so what would you prefer to be doing? Diving Mangel Halto or cutting onions?
Diving to Mangel Halto. Or trace chopping. Or hole in the wall. Or on one of the dive boats.
Mangel Halto is a unique dive site insofar as it's not a traditional reef. We would describe it as a very large, 50-foot deep oblong bowl, surrounded by small coral heads with a sunken fishing boat and some interesting wreck parts from time to time. There is actually a reef behind the bowl, but that trek requires a good 15-minute surface swim each way, and the channel currents between the bowl and the reef can alternate, making that a more advanced dive. Circumnavigating the bowl is easy, often with little current, but it does have a reputation for being, well, a little boring. To be sure, there is a lot to see, but it is spread out. There's a fair amount of coral along the edges and isolated coral spots throughout the base. To me, it will forever be the place where I saw a music volute. More on that in the night dive highlights later. If you want to check out the Mangel Halto dive experience, you've come to the right place. But before we jump in, here is another blatant subscription appeal. We hope you enjoy watching this video as much as we did making it. Please consider subscribing, give us a thumbs up, or add a comment. Our goal is to reach at least 1,000 subscribers so we can earn a bit of money to defray costs. Thanks. Oh, and tell your friends. Mangel Halto is on the southwest coast of Aruba, 4 roundabouts south of the airport on Spaan's Lagenweg. There is a stone wall with Mangel Halto written on the side, making it the easiest shore dive on the island to spot. You will find plenty of parking, although you'll want to get as close to the sign as possible for the shortest walk to the best entry point. Divvy trees can provide a bit of shade and help keep your car a bit cooler. When you first get to Mangel Halto, you'll see a number of entry points. Some are good and some are not so good. The best entry and exit point will be from the platform just to the right of the Mangel Halto sign. The deck is only 6 feet from the bottom, which is a nice height for most divers to easily pick up gear after climbing down the ladder and placing gear before climbing back up. To the left of the platform is a very small beach. If you want to reduce strain on your arms and knees by not climbing up the ladder, the beach is an easy way to go. Farther up the coast are some wooden stairs. You should probably avoid these if you can, as they are quite steep, kind of narrow, and much higher to climb than the platform. There are a couple of options for gearing up. The first, as always, is to use your car if it's big enough. The second is to leverage the short cement and brick barrier wall running between the parking spaces and the shore. Whether you enter from the platform or the beach, the water is shallow, and you will have to walk a bit before putting on your fins. First, head about 50 feet along the rocky coast, then veer to the left and follow the sandy path out toward the yellow buoy. It's mostly sand, but there are a few rocks underwater, so be careful not to trip or hit any low-hanging equipment. Once the water gets deep enough, put on your fins and surface swim, still heading toward the yellow buoy. After another 100 feet or so, start checking the bottom as the gradual slope of the sandy path gives way to a more pronounced slope of the dive. When you see the lip of the bowl, descend and start your dive. Although Mangel Halto is bowl-shaped, you still have a couple of options on how to tackle it. The bowl is approximately 800 feet long by 300 feet wide, and while circumnavigating it in one go is possible, you have to go pretty fast. Whenever we dive it, we typically go to the right or the left and circle in that direction until half a tank, and then swim back. Of course, at our pace, it means that we really don't make it to the far end. So perhaps a speedy crossing and leisurely swim back might be a third option. The biggest highlight on this dive is the small fishing trawler on the south side. It comes up pretty quickly if you head to the left, and it is a good bet to have a few small schools swimming around. We have seen a large number of anemone on this dive. Don't forget to check them out for shrimp. We also see crab during the day, which shows just how popular this site is with crustaceans. Check out the night sea life highlights to see others like the Caribbean spiny lobster, rooster conch, red-eye sponge crab, and more. As you make your way back, the exit is fairly easy to spot as there is a break in the bowl's coral ring where you descended. At about 15 feet, the bowl edge joins the sandy path heading back toward the shore. In case you get lost, the platform is generally 80 degrees east. However, your compass heading may vary a bit depending on where you are within the bowl. This is not a site where large creatures hang out, but you will see quite a few of the typical fish seen on other sites. Just fewer corals and sponges. Yes, we dove here at night. Well, I did. Leslie wasn't up for it, and even the dive guide wasn't too stoked, but he did get a bit excited once we saw the music flute. The evening's highlights are split into 3 categories: the fishing trawler wreck, crustaceans, and everything else. Mangel Halto has a lot of crustaceans at night. Here are some of the other things we saw after the sun went down.